we are coming to the direct fuel fire furnace, or it is called open hearth furnace. In case of open hearth furnace, we have seen that will be William Siemens developed that open hearth furnace by preheating the incoming air. William Siemens developed that particular open hearth furnace by the preheating of the incoming air. Then Pierre Martin was responsible for the dilution of the pig iron with scrap. Then again and again continuous it will be modified, okay, by technically. Then combining the both Siemens and Martin, open hearth process is developed. Means using the technology of the William Siemens and Pierre Martin, using that technology, finally we have developed the open hearth process. Construction, what are the construction? Furnace can either tilting or fixed. Okay, as per our requirement we can tilt the furnace also. So that furnace consists of shallow bath capable of that particular furnace. Okay, holding from 60 to 300 tons molten metal we have produced in that particular furnace at a time. 300 tons means very big amount we have produced using that open hearth furnace. There is a back wall doors is there, backside back wall doors is there, in the front wall, okay, and a roof over the top. A roof will be placed in that particular furnace also. Here charging position of the charging door is there. Through the charging door we put the metal scrap to that particular molten, to that particular furnace. On each side of the bath, two heating chambers is there. Two heating chambers. One is to preheat the air, means two heating chambers. One chamber will be used to preheat the air and other to preheat the coal producer gas. Means two types of chamber is there. Through one chamber we passes the air, preheating air will be passes, and another through chamber we passes through the preheat gases, produced gases. These chambers are filled with the open checker bricks. That open checker bricks, that type of bricks, regenerative bricks, and that is the checker bricks are there. Means use of that checker bricks also have some particular functions also. And what happens at the end of that hearth openings are provided. Openings at one end to is the passage heated gas and air will be burnt with the flame directed down on the metal. Means two chambers are there in that particular furnace. Through one furnace we have sending the preheating here. Means here regenerative bricks we have used. Regenerative bricks means what happens now in that particular regenerative bricks, to preheat the air and to preheat the fuel gases. After that, when that preheating gases and preheating air will passes through that particular passage, and when it will passes and oil burner is there, that oil burner also helps to heat the particular produced gas and also air. Then when it will passes through that particular chamber, here metal scrap is there, that metal scrap will be put through that particular charging door. When it will passes through that particular chamber, what happens now, that metal scrap, continuous flow of the particular preheated air and preheated fuel gas, it will, the temperature of that particular metal scrap will be increased, and due to increase in temperature or due to increase in heat, that metal scrap starts to melt, and after that it will be converted into molten metal. Again that gases and heated air and flue gases passes through that particular brick checker. Okay, when it will passes through that brick checkers, again it will reheat that produced gas and air, it will again reheat it, and that reheated gases will passes through that particular again regenerative chambers, again it will passes through that regenerative chambers. Then that process is continuing, and after certain times some impurities added to that particular gases, that also it will be passes through that particular chimney. Here chimney is there also. chimney is there. Through that chimney also we have passes through that particular passage. Okay. First opening passage, heated gas and air which burns with the flame directed down on that particular metal. Means through two passageways, means one passageway preheated gas will be passes and another heated chamber the air will be passes. So second opening allows the burn gases to escape to the chimney. Means and the second opening, we have seen that particular picture, that will burn gases to escape to the particular chimney via regenerators. Again, these regenerators are series of checker bricks or heating chambers. Means that heating chambers are helps to preheat the air and fuel gases also. Capacity up to 300 tons. That is the main diagram of that particular chamber, already have discussed. Means that is the regenerative bricks, and when the gas and heat will be passes through that regenerative bricks, it will preheat it, and that preheated gases passes through that particular chamber and also again preheated by oil burner. Okay, when it will passes through that, the temperature of that particular metal scrap increases and again it will convert it into molten metal. Again it will passes through that particular brick checker, and when it will passes through the brick checker, again it will be preheated, then again it will send to the particular through regenerative chamber. Again that process is continuing. Okay, and through the tap hole we are taken the particular molten metal, and also slag hole is there. Through the slag hole we have removed the slag, and that is the charging door. Say through that charging door we put the metal scrap to that particular furnaces. What is the lining of the furnaces? Generally, in case of lining, we have used maybe acidic or maybe basic, depending upon the nature of the impurity. When impurities are acidic, so in that time, acidic lining is used like silica bricks or sand. When impurities are acidic, so in that time we have used the acid lining is used like silica bricks or sand we have used. When the impurities are basic, so in that cases we have used the basic lining. Okay, like magnesite or bricks or dolomite we have used in that particular furnaces. In case of charging the furnace, what happens? Now, charge is mainly pure iron, molten or solid iron or scrap. That things, pig iron, molten or solid iron or scrap we have used as a charge. Okay, so limestone or iron also added as per our requirement. Iron, limestone or iron ore as per our requirement we have added to that particular charge. That will be charged by mechanical charging machines. Means we have used some crane for providing the metal scrap to that particular furnace. And also sometimes a basic furnace, calcinite, dolomite or sand is thrown over the bottom of the sidewall. Sometimes we have thrown the sand to the sidewalls or bottom walls. Okay, this operation is called sometimes fettling. That operation is called fettling. Why we use that process, fettling process? Fettling process we have used for repairing the lining. For repairing purpose, we have used the fettling operations. After fettling, if hearth we heated using our open hearth principle. Using after fettling, hearth is heated about 1500 degrees centigrade, and in that cases limestone on bottom is followed by iron or then iron and scrap. First we have kept the limestone on bottom, then we kept the iron ore, then iron and scrap we have kept to that particular furnaces. After about 2 hours, scrap has begun to melt. Means after 2 hours it will start the melting. Okay, then we added the pig iron. After this melting, the melting period begins. Means after melting the scrap, then it will melting will be started to the iron. when heat supplied by the mixture of gas and air, because preheat gas and air we have supplied to that particular furnaces, and due to that melting takes place after in 3 hours depending upon the nature of the size of the charge. So after that what happens, now some of the carbon, most manganese, silica will be removed by oxygen. Means sometimes to that particular scrap the carbon, manganese, silica will be mixed to that particular charge. Okay, when it will start the heating, then it will convert it into oxidation. Okay, that impurities are removed by adding some limestone, mill scale, and also by oxidizing action by the flame. Means due to some oxidization, means due to some limestone we have removed that particular oxides. Means that type of manganese, carbon, silicon added, sometimes it will added to that particular charge, and due to that thing when melting started the oxide formation will be started. Okay, so for removal of that oxides we have used the limestone. Okay, when melting is completed certain elements are added to the remove, then again we have added some other elements like silica, sulfur, phosphorus also we have added to that particular melting metal. Why we have added? Now for adding these things we remove the oxides from that particular melting metal. After removal of the all oxides or impurities from that particular molten metal, then we start the tapping. Means from the tapping hole we have taken the final molten metal. Okay, and when steel is just for desired carbon content is then tapped. Means after conversion to the particular molten metal, some observations or some experimentations we have done to the molten metal, what are the carbon content, that by that experimentation we have decided. After that we have do the tapping operation. After removal of the slag, then we have removed the slag through the slag hole, then finally we have taken the particular molten metal from that particular furnace. Deslagging. In case of that slag hole is there, by using that slag hole we remove the slag from the, actually slag will be kept the upper position of that particular molten metal. So the slag flows out of the notch during the early part of the process. Means slag always kept upper side of the molten metal. And also that ladle will be separated by using a special ladle. Okay, uses. Steel produced by open hearth is either low carbon percentage, means 0.15 to 0.3 up to percentage of carbon, or use of medium percentage of carbon 0.3 to 0.7. Using that type of carbon percentage we have produced the steel in open hearth furnace. Sometimes low percentage of carbon 0.15 to 0.3 percentage carbon still used in manufacturing the boiler plates, bridge work, structural work, that type of things we have used the 0.15 to 0.3 percentage carbon for the production of the steel. That steel will be used in boiler plates or bridge work or structural work. Medium 0.3 to 0.7 percentage carbon used for manufacturing the axles, hammers and spring and die. That type of manufacturing we have used the medium percentage of carbon to the manufacturing of the steel. Steel casting. So in that cases we have seen that involving various types of steels we have produced as per our requirements, and also steel castings are used. Cast iron cannot deliver the enough strength. Sometimes we produce the cast iron but it does not deliver the enough strength. So in that cases we have produced some special steel for special purposes. So include hydroelectric turbine, wheels, gears, railroad, truck frames, valve body. So in that cases we have produced some special steels for special purposes. Okay. In case of open hearth furnace, what happens? It is used generally making the steel from scrap iron or iron ore. Okay, and that is for preparation of the molten metal. We have used the preheated fuel gas and preheated air we have used. And a limestone is used as a flux. Limestone is also used for remove the oxides from the molten metals also. That is the combustion chamber. That is the main combustion. That is the charging doors through which we have provided the metal scrap to that particular charging combustion chamber. And refractory lining we have used in every furnaces because it will withstand the higher temperature. Here that is the regenerative chambers. Regenerative chambers has been used to preheat the air and passes produced gas. That is the regenerative chambers. And that is the brick checker. Why we have used the brick checker? When it will the fuel gas passes through the brick checker, again it will preheat it, and then again it will come through the regenerative chambers, again preheated, then it will go through that particular chamber. That is the air pipe, and that is the fuel gas pipe, and in between that we have kept the chimney. Some part of the fuel gas will be passes through that particular piping system, and some of the gases will be goes out of through the chimney, and metal scrap we have kept to that particular combustion chamber, and actually it will passing through that particular charging doors. Now we are sending the fuel gas and through that particular piping system, and also here we are passing through that piping systems, and that preheated gas and air passing through that particular chamber, and continuous heating to that particular metal scrap, the heat will be increased, and due to increase of the heat, the metal scrap will be converted into molten metal. Means that is the continuous process of the open hearth furnaces. That is the continuous process of the open hearth furnace.